Life throws you punches. Trauma, life, and burnout. I've lived through it all, and I've built something for the fighters that refuse to stay down. If you're ready to stop playing small and own your story, then this is where you belong. The Unstoppable Network is where the overcoming stories are getting very loud. From veterans to survivors to trailblazers sharing their story of turning their pain into power. Welcome to the Unstoppable Network, where we turn your mess into a message. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Unstoppable Network. I'm your host, Dorothy O Dell. I have the distinct pleasure of bringing back one of our amazing people, a brother from another mother, Mr. Chad Kennedy. Welcome back, sir.
Hey, Dorothy. Thank you. I love the intro to your show. It is amazing.
You like that, eh? That's new this year. We have to shout out to Merrick Avro who did that absolutely amazing job that he did there. So tonight we're meeting with Chad because we did a one-on-one live interview together at the mental health walk, and for some reason none of the no one could hear it. Like the sound wasn't there. So
And it was such an amazing visit.
such an amazing visit. So Chad came back this way this summer, and he says, "Oh wait, I'm going to be in Windsor." And then I found out that he was at my home branch, my home Legion branch. Growing up, I spent pretty much every Friday night with Grandpa at the Kingsville Legion, and I'm like, shitballs, I'm not waiting for the weekend. I'm going to go surprise this dude at the Legion. So I walk in, and I'm like, well, where is he? I'm messaging him. I'm like, where are you? And then I see this guy walk up, and I'm like, shit.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was a great surprise.
It was so amazing. And yes, it's funny because there was another guy there, Scott Trainer, and Scott's looking at me like, why are you hugging this dude? And I'm like, because I've known Chad for years, and this is the first time we finally get to meet in person. So
yeah, it was cool. Yeah, and it's like a small world. I'm like, how the hell do you two know each other? And there's a story there.
There's a story there. Scott used to work where I work at, so that's the story.
It's cool. It is cool. It's like, who would have thought? And Scott then, to me, was a stranger who was just helping out the campaign. And now we've become friends, and it's cool.
Oh, okay. So you want to hear something cool?
Yes.
So Scott is actually the catalyst for this book. So my first book, The Overcomer, Facing Challenges with Faith and Courage. So I was upstairs one day, and Scott was going down the hallway because Scott doesn't walk. Scott runs down the hallway. And
that guy's crazy. Yeah.
And he goes, hey, how you doing? I'm like, living the dream. How are you? And he says to me, your dream or someone else's? And I was like, shit, that's deep.
That is deep.
And I got to thinking, I'm like, well, currently it's someone else's, but I'd like it to be my own. And so that's how the book was born.
Awesome. He's that guy does not know how to slow down.
Right.
Even
in retirement.
Yeah. And million miles a second. It's like 1 second he's there, and then he's gone, and then he comes out another door. He's got a cup of coffee, and then he vanishes again. He comes out with something else. Like, dude, how many doors do you have in your home? Like, it's crazy. Or I just didn't catch you. Like, wear a bright colored shirt so I can see the street go by. Yeah, it's weird. He's a good guy. Solid.
Absolutely solid. And I still need to get him on the show for his things that he does, because he does something for veterans too.
Yes, he does.
But we're not talking about Scott. We're talking about you. So what does it feel like now that you've got the second year under your belt and you're back at home and you're trying to decompress?
Yeah. It's so this is our second walk across the country, and like the first time we split it into 2 years, and it's one of those things. Um, I want to feel accomplished. Like, I mean, we could probably list 200 people that have traveled the country on foot or bicycle, um, and I still haven't found that sense of accomplishment. The first two trips cross country and making my way back home, I was sort of out of sorts. I didn't know what to do with myself. Um, but I took my time. After the first year, I made it home in like record breaking time from Montreal, and basically set my stuff down. I went out to the forest for 2 weeks and decompressed, processed everything, made notes, and just really enjoyed time with myself. I was out of distraction range, which meant no cell service, no nothing. It was just me time. And knowing that would happen when we got back in 2023, I actually, because we had ended in St. John's, Newfoundland in 2023, I'd actually taken like, I don't know what it was, 18 or 21 days to make my way home so I could see a lot of cool places. And after the first portion of the second walk this past summer, um, I kind of knew what to expect. So I think I took 10 days to get home from the Kingsville area, and sort of just unwound, did some camping, visited some friends. And then I got home and it's now reality hit. It's like, okay, I've got to dust off the workbench downstairs, try and get back into my hobbies. Being away from your spouse for 6 months takes a toll, and it's sort of rekindling things. And yeah, still no sense of accomplishment. So my hobby outside, obviously, like walking, when I get off my fat ass and get back to that, walking, the hobby shop, doing my social media stuff. Um, C2C is really my hobby. It's my passion. So I'm my brain's already like shit balls. What am I gonna do when we finish the second walk or the second half of the second walk in 2026? Which is, we've got some pre-walk stuff to do in your neck of the woods again. Scott Trainer and his team are going to be working on something pretty amazing. And then when we step off in Sarnia, June 1st, which is the kickoff to PTSD Awareness Month, it's Sarnia to Vancouver Island. The cool thing is, as sad as I am to leave, I don't know what you call Ontario. Is that Central Canada? Is that, I don't know. But
Ontario.
It's going to be bittersweet because I love everything east of Alberta, and I love Alberta, and I love everything west of Alberta. So it'll be, we get to spend a month in my home province, doing a lot of meet and greets, and of course coming through the town I live in, which is exciting, and then off to Vancouver Island, the long way. But it's what am I going to do afterwards? So my brain's already planning what C2C is going to be involved in from 2027 on until I can no longer do walks. So it's a lot of bittersweet. It's a cool accomplishment, but I don't feel accomplished. I don't feel like I've done enough.
Okay, so can I throw something in?
Yes.
All right. So what is it that you had hoped to accomplish on this walk?
I for myself personally, I really had to find my purpose again after leaving a uniform, and I realized my purpose back in 2022. It was like, I don't know, 6,000 degrees Fahrenheit, walking the Trans Canada Highway towards Ottawa, and I had a really, a really shitty day. I had three people who I thought were friends had sort of turned against the campaign. And funny enough, their initials, take the first initials, it said TNT. And we know TNT is dynamite. I was ready to explode. And the only way I could expel my energy is walking. But it was that hot. You get the hot wind coming at you, you got the humidity, you got the sun beating down, you got the heat radiating off the asphalt, and I was ready to quit. I actually did a big blog about it the next day. Is yesterday I quit, and I realized, you know what, the walking portion is not for the people. The walking portion was for me and to keep me on this side of the dirt, and that I found my purpose through that horrible moment in time. Is, you know, my purpose is helping other people. It never had anything to do with me signing up for the armed forces back in '91 as a child. Um, all the law enforcement hats I wore, it never had anything to do with the uniform. It was just me being a helper. So it's like, how do we, how do I continue to help? And when we announced in 2023, well, I announced, I kind of shocked the team with it. When we were in Gander, Newfoundland, and in 2023, I said, we're going to do the walk again because we're missing people. And it's not so much, we don't want the big welcoming committee. You were at the Legion in Kingsville. It's basically get up and share my story in the hopes of inspiring somebody else to stick their hand out and say, hey, man, I could really use some help. Mm-hmm. And so finding my purpose 2022 and 2023, it was a little bit more of the awareness. This year was different. We did a lot more talking than walking, which I'm okay with. A little easier on the legs. But it was like, this is what it's about. It's about the awareness. The walking is still for me. When people join me for walks, it is so amazing. And to have that wholesomeness of somebody saying, thank you for providing a safe space. And that's walking on the highway. We got Butch in the safety vehicle. And we just walk. It's not my walk all of a sudden. I'm just there with a person who is walking, and to provide a shoulder to lean on. And if they wish to share a bit of their story, if not, that's okay too. It's just, let's get out into the outdoors and let's listen to ourselves. And if we want to shoot the shit, that's cool. I'm just a person. I'm nobody. On a grand level, I am somebody. I don't mean to beat up on myself, but I go with the tag, I'm just a guy. And as a guy who has gone through the worst of the worst with my demon and PTSD, OSI, whichever you want to call it, and the bullying in a workplace, like the list goes on. I'm just a person that's been through the crap, and it's a reminder for others, like, you are not alone, right? Hashtag never alone.
Never alone.
Weird.
Right.
So, and it says it on the shirt there, like it's everywhere. Like, peeps, trying to help a soul stay on the side of the dirt versus the suicide option. I don't think there's any better way to help a person out.
There's so much that you said at the Legion, and I hope I don't mess this up, but there's a couple things that I wanted to make mention here now that people can hear it.
Yes, I hope.
So there was better. Anyways, I just tested my mic. I was on somebody else's show just before I jumped onto this one. So you had mentioned that the whole reason why you started this was so, obviously what you said for like your demon and helping other people, but the girlfriend or wife you were with at that time, you had did some random post on Facebook and said, yep, I'm going to walk the country sea to sea for PTSD. Right. And she was like, who the hell are you? And what makes you so special that you could do this was basically the gist of what you said. And I'll never forget that, because you didn't share that on the first couple times that you were on our show.
Right.
And there's also another thing that you mentioned, and this was the first time, and I hope this doesn't upset you, but this was the first time this year that you had mentioned that your dad was the one that saved you.
Yeah.
Do you want to share a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So I will say this: my spouse at the time wasn't that harsh, um, but it was basically, like, you just posted this on social media. You don't have to follow through with it. I'm like, but I'm going to hold myself accountable, and so yeah, it's yeah, things were said, and we've gotten over it, and life goes on. So my dad. So when I first started talking about uh, how I was going to end my life, I was to die by suicide. I was hammered. I was going to hop into my truck, drunk, and hit the highway, and govern that sucker out, no seatbelt, and make a sudden stop at a concrete barrier. And thankfully, that didn't happen. It's just before I hit that threshold of mission go. All I could envision was my dad's face, not his head, his whole cranium, but dad's face, and my mom. And for those that don't know the whole story, and I shared as much as I can. My dad is a retired RCMP member, forced into retirement because of his mental health. Back before the RCMP would consider PTSD a thing. So for him to, and thankfully he's still here with us. But it's like, man, the fight dad had with his demons and my mom at his side is, how can I let my dad down? I'm going through this horrible thing now, and my dad from early 2000s to now is still here. I can't let my dad down. I can't let my mom down. So forget everybody else in my life. I just didn't care. And I talked about it at the suicide walk with CMHA in Windsor. Is you don't look for answers. There's just dark. It's all I can see is dark, and it's about me. I want the pain to end. You don't stop to think of the ripple effect that it's going to have on your family and friends. It's just a ripple that keeps on going, keeps hurting. There's no, for a lot of times there's no closure. It doesn't matter what BS I can write down on a piece of paper. That's not closure. It's like, well, why couldn't we fix this? Why couldn't we talk it through? And so, I shame on me. Butch had told me.
No shame at
Oh,
all.
shame on me.
No
Yes, no,
shame
there,
at
there,
all.
there is, because it was one of those moments as I go, I keep opening up more about my story. And, Butch, if you don't know, my dad, with his complex PTSD, he's also got COPD. So, he's not well. Um, you never know what tomorrow brings. So, Butch, every night around the fire, you really need to tell your dad about how he helped save your life. I said, you're right. So the first Wellness Wednesday wing day with my dad at the pub down the road, I told him, I said, Dad, back in 2017, you saw things were wrong, and you sent me to my doctor. So that's the first time. He was part of saving my life. Obviously, I've got to take the actions and follow through.
Mhm.
But that second time, seeing his face and my mom's face, not being able to let them down. So I told him that, and in true dad fashion, handshake over the table, and a big thank you. And then obviously we hugged it out after we feasted on wings. But it's, I say shame on me, because I'm the first person to say, before you walk out the door every day, tell your spouse or your loved ones you love them, because you don't know what can happen once somebody leaves that door. So to have Butch coach me, uh, that old bugger, I love him, and Butch is full of wisdom, and I'm thankful for that. It's I shouldn't have held off as long as I did, um, but I did, and it felt good to let Dad know that, and that will be a part of my book too. Is the relationship I've had with my dad. Um, Before PTSD, during PTSD, and where our life is at now. So he's a role model for me.
I love that. And I learned something this year that 200 people are affected by each suicide.
Yeah.
And if you ever wanted a visual, you should have been at the Windsor Walk,
Oh
because I'm telling
gosh.
you, it was wall to wall these shirts, something about Amazing Grace. And of course, me
Yes.
being the person that I am, I went up. I said, "Man, I wonder what it is about all these shirts." And so I forget your friend's name that was there that I walked with. What's her name?
Oh, that's Marcy. Good thing my
Marcy.
brain's working. Marcy Resendez. Yes.
Yes. So Marcy says, why don't you go ask that guy over there? Well, my heart went from my chest to my throat and then down to my knees, because it was actually the father of Grace who had completed suicide this year.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what to say after that, other than, sorry for your loss. And, you know, um, gave him space that if he ever wanted to share their story, that I'd be there for them. And I didn't know what else to say. Like, I was devastated for him. But there easily had to have been, he said he had 300 people registered, I think,
Yeah.
on their team. They raised over $20,000 for the Canadian Mental Health Association, the Windsor branch. And so that just really put into perspective the one person, 200 people. And if I look at my uncle's suicide, which was 23 years or 24 years ago, um, it's coming up on the anniversary on Christmas Day. But if I've shared that story, I don't know how many times. So I know well over 200 people have heard his story, whether they're affected or not, it doesn't matter. The fact that they've heard about him, and heard how much it impacted my life and how much it's impacted my family's life. Um, I think 200 is low, in my
Yeah.
opinion. But
After that event, September 7th, yeah, I think it's low. The unfortunate thing, statistically, it's we don't record it. That's what we say. Our Canadian government, Canadian authorities, like, how do you do a poll on that? And other times, you look at a school child. School child dies by suicide. It affects the whole school. So if there's 5,000 kids there, well, that person, yeah, if the kid's popular, but that it affects a lot of people. And now the ripple effect, obviously, that child goes home like, holy smokes, Chad died by suicide today, and I was close with them, and boom. Now my parents are, who knows? That to see the turnout at that event, Dorothy, when I was up for my 30-second spiel, or having a chat, and I turned around, how many people were in that gymnasium? Uh, uh,
there's a lot.
well, there was a lot. I was looking peripheral and forward, and then I turned around. I was like, "Holy shit! There's a lot of people here," and everybody there has been affected by the ripple effect, right? It's heartbreaking.
Absolutely heartbreaking. You know, Ironically, when you said if somebody was to die at school, well, the captain of the football team when I was in high school at Windsor Wallaceburg High ended up killing himself. And I didn't even know the kid, but the fact that it was somebody from my school, somebody that thought, he screwed up enough that there was a sequence of events that had happened, and he thought that his parents would be mad at him. He crashed a car, he crashed a snowmobile, crashed a couple of things, and he just took his life. And I won't say how he did it. It was quite graphic, but to this day, I mean, I'll be 50 next year, and that was high school. So to say that I still remember it, is wow.
Yeah.
You're right. I didn't even think about that.
So how do we measure it? And that's a ripple will continue on forever, really, until it hits the other end. How far is the end? I don't know. But yeah, it's well, and suicide is something we do not talk enough about, which is unfortunate. And I've done posts about suicide, and I've had people lash out at me. Oh, we need to get rid of that word. Well, why? Why are we going to take away what a family has experienced in their life? They lost somebody to suicide. We don't get rid of the word cancer, right? People die by cancer or
Yep.
die from cancer. Yes. So we don't abolish that. People can say it's a bad word. People can say suicide's a bad word. Stigma's a bad word. But this is not the Mandela effect where we're just going to take words and abolish them from our human language until those words are freaking accepted. And it's acceptance, people.
Well, and they've already rephrased it, because at one point we had to say die by suicide, and then they changed it to completed suicide,
Yeah.
or maybe vice versa.
Well, let's commit suicide. Let's complete suicide. And let's die by suicide. And I'm like, well, it all makes sense. But ultimately, we die by suicide. And completed, not completed, even the attempt itself, it's, I got to say, I'm open about my story and my perspective on things. My best friend, Paul, back in 1993, I was working in a nightclub. He came in and said, "Hey, man, I'm moving to Vancouver. I'm going to become an apprentice as a butcher." That was his dream. Paul was from some French town in Ontario. He moved to Fort McMurray following the dream. But he came and said goodbye to me. We had a beer together. And 2 days later, the RCMP were talking to me. Paul had hung himself in a forest. Two young kids had found him. And I thought, man, how selfish, how dare he? And my dad at that time was a Mountie. He says, "Oh, is it really selfish? Was there no way out? Did he come and say goodbye to you?" So, well, yeah, he said he was moving to Vancouver. So, well, that was him saying farewell. He cared enough about you to say goodbye. And I'm like, okay. And then as I went along in life, and suicide, when I was with victim services, when I was an auxiliary member with the RCMP, you would attend, scenes where there was suicide. And whether there's a note or not, you start to realize that life was so bad for that person. They wanted the pain to stop. And that makes sense in my brain now because I have gone through that. I say, man, the people, and it sounds really dark and horrible, and I don't tend it to hurt anybody, but I'm man, if you've got the guts to follow through with it, and you're at peace, you're at peace. Yeah. And all we can do as the survivors is give each other comfort. And like I said, don't go looking for closure. If you were with me at the end of the walk in Windsor, a lady had come up to me and thanked me. I'm like, "What are you thanking me for?" She goes, "For the last," if she's listening, I apologize. "For the last 3 or 4 years, I've been looking for closure for my son's death. And here's you who have gone through it and saying, don't look for closure. You're not going to find the answers." And she said, "Those are the words I needed to hear." I'm like, wow. It was very humbling. Obviously, we had hugs and a cry, and she's listening. Her son's name is Brendan. And I was grateful that she had come up afterwards because really, Dorothy, I didn't know what to say when I got up and spoke in front of all those people. That was hard. But things come from the heart. And no reminder, they're not alone. And what could we have done to prevent it? We know. Probably nothing.
Nothing.
Their mind was made up.
That's You just said so much that I had struggled with for this first 10 years after my uncle did it. My uncle was close to my dad. And he had lived with us at one point. He had attempted suicide, and then my dad found him in time and brought him to live with us for a little bit after he came out of the hospital. And so they always had that bond. And then when he actually did complete it, there was letters for his children. Nothing for my grandparents. My grandparents were devastated. I was devastated, but we were a family that didn't talk about it because you don't talk about your feelings, right?
Right.
And so kids were to be seen and not heard. And so every time I felt like I wanted to bring it up, I had that phrase in my head: kids are to be seen and not heard, so just shut up, even though I was in my 20s. I was in my early 20s when that happened. And so left behind 3 kids. And, what do you say to those kids? And it was horrible. And for 10 years, it haunted me so bad. I'm like, what could I have done to prevent it? And of course, he had left one last Christmas gift for me, and it was a pair of pot holders, which I still have to this day. And that's in my kitchen. And he had a card that said, sometimes you make me laugh and sometimes you make me cry. And I still have that card. I think it's up in my attic. And I'm like, if we had such a great relationship, why wouldn't you come to one of us and try and ask for help? But he didn't see it. He didn't see that portion of it. And for 10 years, that shit haunted me.
Yeah.
And I finally had to let it go. And it's funny. I made a post about those freaking potholders this year, and my husband says, "Can we get rid of them? Like, they're disgusting. I've washed them, but they're so freaking caked with grease." I'm like, "No, I'm not getting rid of them." And I don't know why I'm crying, other than the fact that the
I
anniversary is
thought
Christmas Day.
I thought you were cutting onions in there.
Yeah, we're cutting onions here. But every time when you talked about that, I was just like, there is no closure. Even like you said, those kids didn't have closure. They may have gotten a note, but now they have to live without their dad.
Yeah.
My grandparents had to live without their son. They had to bury their son. And it was, I mean, I can surmise, and I've pieced together a lot of stuff afterwards, and but I'll never know, and I can't really say, because I don't want other people to sue my ass for my what I could say. But anyways, it's just, and I had family members that like, oh, he's just a coward. I'm like, you have no idea the depths of hell that he obviously had to been in order for him to do what he did. To leave behind his kids, to leave behind his parents, to leave behind his siblings. And really, you have no idea. And until you've ever even thought about ending your own life, there's been times that I thought, yeah, life would be a fuck of a lot easier if I wasn't here. And the only thing that kept me saying, you said your dad, you know what kept me here? My nephews. I have a picture of them that I got done when they were young. And that I still have the picture here. It's in my drawer. And every time I thought about it, I would either look at the picture or visualize that picture. And I'm like, I couldn't do it. And so I love that fact that you said that your dad was the one that prevented you, because it was my nephews without them being born. And my brother was pretty young when he got when they got pregnant for the first one. But anyhow, born for a reason.
Yeah. Gives us purpose. Now you got to rehydrate. If I was closer, I'd give you a big ass hug. We'll pass you a napkin. So we'll bank the hug for Kingsville.
Yes.
In May. Yes.
In May. Well, okay, so I was supposed to hear all this shit. Like, no one's given me anything about this walk.
Okay. Well, you know what I'll do, because I'm a nice guy most of the time, is I'll loop you in with Scott and his wife, and his daughter about everything that's going on in Kingsville.
Cool.
Yeah. It sounds
Well,
like it's going to be cool.
you said you wanted my help because the one lady said there's no way you can pull that off. It's September. We're doing
Okay.
this in May. I'm like, you can do it.
I'm going to include you in, and we'll have Marcy Resendez as well. I'll loop y'all in, and it sounds like it's going to be a really cool thing, like a 6 kilometer walk through town, and like a little mental health trade show, and do some talking and eating, and maybe a beer or two.
Gotta have the beer.
It's all about the pints.
That's how I met Chad. He had a
And
beer in
hopefully
his hand.
cheeseburgers. Yes, and cheeseburgers. So, well, it sounds like um, helping our heroes and the Kingsville Legion will have something really cool. I'm looking forward to it. So I will loop you in on the email, and I will walk this time. I know my I don't know what I pinched for the walk in Windsor, but I couldn't feel my feet. So you and Marcy, my body doubles. There you go. You walked it. You crushed it. You did it. So I owe you both.
You don't owe me nothing. Although I have to say, like what you said, I don't even think you realize what you said at that event in Windsor, because like what you said about me, I was like almost in tears. And then I was just like, okay, wow. Like that was just like, thank you, the highest honor you could possibly give somebody.
What, the celebrity part, or?
Well, not just the celebrity part, but you said that in Kingsville at the Legion, right in
Yes.
front of CTV
Yes.
News, and I was expecting them to give me an interview, but they didn't. Shame on you, CTV.
I didn't even
Anyway,
expect them. Yes. Wow, that's
right.
okay. They caught me by surprise.
No, but you said, if you don't know this lady, you really should. And I was just like, wow, like thank you so much for saying that. I never expected that. And you said I was part of your team. But
You
so that
are
was
you
pretty
are a
awesome.
part of C2C team. You were there. You showed up. You got steps in. So yeah, and you'll be there again. And
Yeah.
yeah, you'll know the place and time because you're going to be a party planner. Party planner.
Party planner.
Yeah.
So, too bad that's awesome. And too bad you weren't in this area in August for my golf tournament.
Well, by the time August hits, I'm going to be out here in Alberta. So maybe you should have your golf tournament here in Alberta.
Okay.
Make it a national thing.
Oh, so funny you said that. So I always have to hold at least one. It has to be in Tilbury. Like, family rules.
Okay.
But what I have been planning in my head, and I've never said this to anybody else, was I wanted to do different golf tournaments around the world. And then the monies goes to the charity in that area. So I have tons of friends out in Florida, like tons of friends in Florida. I have you out in Alberta. So perhaps maybe we could do two. There's a beautiful moon out tonight. 2 or 3 events.
It's still daylight here.
Yeah, you're on a different time zone.
Yeah.
It's just coming up. It's full. Like it's absolutely gorgeous. Sorry, I don't.
That's okay.
It's like right there above my computer. So yeah, I want to do that. Like, but one has to be in Tilbury.
Okay. Well, could always like take 24 hours off the road and I'll fly back. No, I won't. I had to do that this past summer.
You did.
I did. I had to fly back to Calgary from Ottawa. That was like brutal for a medical thing for 48 hours. What a tease. Oh, anyways.
Health first. So what's the biggest thing that you got out of the walk this year?
You know what? Because of the amount of talking engagements we did, it's difficult. The most you take out of it is that reminder that I'm not alone. I'm just like everybody else out there. the you know, this, and it's always my favorite is visiting the smaller communities across the country. My community is small. I love the small town feel. Um, but to have, wow, I'll use you as an example. There were a whole bunch of people in Ontario. I've been connected with you since what, 2022, 2023, something like that.
Yep.
And to be able to meet somebody in person for the first time and not just social media or on podcasts is such an honor. And it's like you've known each other forever. And nothing about our social media with C2C is that AI stuff. I respond personally to emails, to Instagram messages, LinkedIn, that's me. So when I converse with somebody and they share pretty intimate stuff and pretty powerful stuff, so when I get to meet that person in real life and just give a hug and be able to have a coffee or a pint or a cheeseburger and just sort of reminisce on everything. So that's what I took out of the 2025 walk. And believe me, I am thankful I didn't have to walk as much. But those engagements where we're talking with people and I'm comfortable enough sharing my whole real story. It's the friendship the friendships that you make and solidify, and it's really cool. Yeah, cool is downplaying. It's freaking amazing to know that wherever I am in this country of ours, if I'm driving through or if I'm there on vacation, if I'm in a crisis, I know who my friends are. And I know I can phone people and say I'm not okay. But I can also phone people and say, hey, I'm in town. Are you up for a visit? And that is when you make a connection with that many people. And man, if I was a billionaire, I'd be sending out Christmas gifts to like 9,000 people every year. Um, and everybody has such a good soul, and yes, when we're going through our challenges, our mental health challenges, cancer challenges, when we're going through challenges in life, we look rough and angry and we're not always in the best of moods. But I've had me, I'm not a tall guy. Yeah, we could be twinsies.
I was expecting taller. I will admit.
Everybody says you look so much taller on social media. Well, thank you. I look skinnier a lot of the times too. But when you, oh shit. when
you always have a hat on. You didn't have a hat on. Your hair was slicked. You were, I was just like, who is this guy?
I was in the Legion. I had to look professional. And actually, for the last while, I did a little bit of cutting of my hair. So today I had to go out, and the wind coming from the west is cold. So yeah, and I don't want to get a man cold, not just yet. But like after Christmas, I can take 2 weeks off and just be a dude on a couch. So when I've met guys that are like, oh, there's actually a picture on social media. There is a Quebec provincial policeman I met in what's the name of the town? It'll come to me. Anyways, I kid you not. This guy is like 6'7", 6'9", and I'm looking up at him, and you see in the picture, like I'm a short guy. There's a couple short people with me, and then boom, there's this guy. And the talk I had with him, he, I won't go into his full story, but he worked for Montreal City Police, and just mental health wise wasn't good for him. He needed a rural setting, so he joined the provincial police. And to have a chat with a guy that could easily, with his pinky finger, probably just his pinky fingernail, give me a flick and knock me on my ass, send me flying. Here's a guy. We're just people. It doesn't matter the size. And I can tell you the most powerful hug I've had is by a guy who's 6'5", and somebody as a law enforcement guy, like we shouldn't be hugging, but we do because we've all got stories. And he does what he does on his side of the law. I did what I did, but it was giving a person a moment in time just to have a chat about mental health. And you realize it doesn't matter what colors we support, what stripes we wear, what jobs we do. Mental health affects every person in this country. And when you get a big beast hug by somebody that can squish you like a Twinkie, that's pretty powerful. And you take a lot. You take a lot back with you, a lot of the good, and try and process and say, "Wow, man, I impacted somebody. I helped somebody, and I believe in giving. And if all I can give is one person some hope, that's pretty incredible."
Well, and that's what people need right now is hope. With the world
Yes.
the way it is right now,
Yeah.
I tend not to. I don't go on the news. I try not to doom scroll on social media because I can get sucked in very easily. But there is it's dark out there right now, man. And I'm not meaning that because it's nighttime. There's a lot of shit going on, a lot of
Oh,
uncertainty.
yeah.
And when you can give somebody hope, I think that's powerful.
It's and speaking of hope, kind of cool. I thought I sent you an email, but I'll include you in it because I wanted you and your show to be a part of this coalition that we've started across Canada, called the Hope Coalition, which is helping our peers every day, is what Hope stands for. Um, and I'm sorry, I if you didn't get the email, I would love you to be a part of that, um, and more so for the connections. They're like helping our heroes is on there. So Scott Trainer and his team, you'll go on there and say, "Wow, I've heard of these people. I've heard of these people." And it's I believe it's important, um, for podcasts where we can speak raw, we can tell our stories. We don't need to edit. Um, we're
Mhm.
just people talking. And when you look at the list of the Hope Coalition, somewhere on LinkedIn, I posted it too, but it's on social media everywhere. The whole list of everybody, um, and everybody involved in that Hope Coalition has a story. And whether it's their, whether we're public safety professionals, veterans, active military, um, families on there who have lost loved ones to suicide, you know, they need their short story shared as well. And these are amazing, you know, they're the nonprofits out there that support our charity organizations.
Mhm.
Um, we're doing things on our own dime, our own time, helping other people. So I figured, what can hope stand for? So I sat down. So my brain doesn't always work properly. Helping our peers every day, and now we keep growing, and announcing new people right across the country. I update the banner, and we'll get to the point where the Hope Coalition will have their own Facebook page where we can all feed into it. And here's a calendar. Here's what's going on, for your show. Here's what's going on. Don't worry about Chad. Chad pops up here and there and everywhere, and he walks around. But for the other people, the Hope Coalition, here's the events we have going on in our community. Here's what we're a part of. So we're slowly getting there. The team's being built. When the new year hits, I'll start pumping it more and working on it more, and hopefully get all the people of the Hope Coalition on a big Zoom meeting and throw some ideas out on how we can help promote each other.
That sounds freaking amazing. And I don't think I've ever shared this with you, but I did a whole program called Hope, but it was helping other people evolve.
That's cool
That's
too.
that's what my hope stood for. And I did like a whole course. No one signed up for it, but that's okay. I still have it all. But it's yeah, helping other people evolve. So I can't believe you came up with that acronym because
weird. We both have our hope.
We
And
have
we all
hope.
have our wins, but I think it's, and just my personal thought, is it's important to have our stories shared. So, have you met Emily Zufeld? What's Your
No,
20 podcast? I've got to
no.
connect you with her. Another
Okay.
amazing soul with another amazing story. And, you know, and that's the reason is like who, podcast wise, can we have join this coalition, and open the doors for folks like you and Emily and other people that do podcasts and start sharing these people's amazing stories. For me
Absolutely.
to for me to sit down as one person, um, I'm just going to use my friends at Veterans and Everyday Heroes. We sit down and we have a cold drink on a hot day, and we celebrate each other's success. The first time we met was in Ontario this past summer, but we followed each other forever. So it's like, oh, dude, you're a celebrity. No, you're a celebrity, and there's no handshakes. It's right to the hugs.
Yeah.
But when we're sharing each other's stories, that really stays in that circle because we trust each other, and it's not our stories to share. So when it's a podcast, the whole world can hear, the amazing things. And there's so many of us out there, but Andrew and what VA does, to help our veterans and public safety professionals. So there's, we're all a small part of a huge machine in the mental health world. And for a lot of us, my opinion is we need to work together because we're coming together for a common goal. And that's to help other people, right? It's,
Yep.
I'm very open with, people when it comes to donating money. Because I'm doing the walk, I'll give you a list of charities to donate to. It's going to help the people. Sure, Butch and I need to eat on the road. We need to camp. We need gas for the vehicle. But man, if your money, you want it to go somewhere specific, then send it specific in the name of mental health.
Mm-hmm.
Help somebody. You're helping a person. I don't care. I don't make a cent off my campaign. And a lot of us, when we're out doing things, raising money, it's going towards a charity. So the joys of nonprofit. It's, we're not doing it for us. There's no, I like saying this. There's no fame in what I'm doing. A lot of times, I'm still walking with a lot of shame, because of what I went through. That self pity portion is never going to go away. I don't look for pity, but I walk with a lot of shame and pain, mentally and physically. The pain, the shame. So where other people might, walk the country or do something crazy for the fame, I don't know. That's not my cup of tea. I'd rather give the glamour and the limelight to others.
I totally get it, Chad. Wow. I had no idea where this hour was going to go, but I knew it would be good.
It's never boring with us. It's
It's
just always
never
fun.
boring with us. I feel like you're my brother. My brother, my other brother that I never. I have one that I didn't want. No, I won't. I'm just kidding.
Just
I'm
disown them.
just, I'm
Hey,
just kidding.
I know
Um,
you can. I know you can see this. This will be a listen to thing when you, or people watching this when you air it.
it will be watching.
Oh, cool. So in that back corner, I always
Uh-huh.
point the wrong
Your
way.
gnome.
Okay, there's Chadlosity, retired. So we're doing the gnome campaign now,
Okay.
where people can adopt gnomes and for $50, and they come out of, an amazing lady and her family make these things in Ontario. They're little 3D printed gnomes. So you paint your gnome, you adopt them, you paint your gnome, and then you take them traveling. And then we'll set a date. I had set one previously, but it's too early in the season. But take your gnome with you, and you take unique pictures. It travels around. And like, tell everybody, if you're ordering a gnome, it'd be really cool to meet the people who purchase a gnome and get pictures with them. And so, yeah, because Chattelocity is retired and the gnome thing has turned into a thing. But
I love that.
I'll, you know what? Next time I'll do a post on LinkedIn to promote this thing, and I'll tag you in it.
Sounds
So you
good.
can't avoid it because I know I see you on LinkedIn.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, okay.
I'm on LinkedIn. Um, yeah, tag me. And wow, that is
Yeah.
so cool. That is so
It's
cool.
it's it's about fun. It's mental health. You've got to have a fun aspect in the frickin' Gnome. Turned into it. Started as a joke, and that thing has been now actually has driven across the country with me a couple times, all the way back home. He's been into BC, so he's been in every province. And now he's broken. You've seen him, like he's
Uh,
missing
he's
legs, and
he's pro. Yes.
so let me see the football there. That
Yeah.
football right there. Okay, so story behind that. 2022. Uh, we're doing the walk, and this is you realize how selfish people can be. Um, so we go into Winnipeg, and the whole city was amazing. Winnipeg City Police um, let us set up camp at one of their police stations on the front lawn. Hooked up our power to an abandoned ambulance bay, so we had a shower. It was just cool. They treat us like royalty. It was so amazing. So wake up one morning, and Jason uh, was doing stuff to set things up in Winnipeg for us. He was our go-to guy. So we show up, and he hands me, I don't mean to be cruel to Winnipeg, but this Blue Bombers jersey. I'm like, that's great. What do I do with that? Well, you got to put it on. Like, okay, I'm a Lions fan. That's just me. I'm a Lions fan.
I had a guest on my show who was I think on the Winnipeg Bombers.
Who?
Dan Kazmarski.
Why do I know that name? I know it. He's famous.
Yeah, he was on my show.
To you, you're a celebrity.
He's from Chatham.
Oh, well, he needs to come and walk, doesn't he? When I'm out that way, we're doing a
Well,
memorial.
funny because he does a lot with men's mental health. So
Well, good.
I need to connect you two,
Oh,
obviously.
yeah, you do. Okay, so that football, I didn't really know what was going on. We get all these. There was a bunch of us in Winnipeg from the team. Quite a few of us. So we were given all these Blue Bomber tickets to go to this game. It was preseason. I think they were playing the Argonauts for preseason. So they're like, you're going to go on the field and get a game ball. I'm like, I don't know what that's about. Okay. So we go down on the field. A lady that was with us at the time, she was like our social media person for the first walk. So she comes on the field. She's getting pictures. The official on the field, like referee guy, was actually a Winnipeg City policeman, and that was his part-time gig. So I go out on the field, and he's like, "Hey," I'm like, "Hey, I know you. I just met you a couple hours. It was cool." So I get this game ball, and we got to hold this pose for like a minute, look at the gyrotron, and they do a little spiel. And I thought, well, you know what? That's really cool. That I felt really honored. It was cool. Not 3 or 4 days later, don't I start getting beat up by people? Well, the whole team should have been on the field, and I'm like, but I didn't set this up. Like, so I was beat up over something, and that football there was actually, and the field tag, I had hidden for shit since I got back from that walk in 2022 because a few people that used to be attached to the team got so upset with me for accepting a football on behalf of C2C for PTSD. And I'm thinking, what is the world
I've
coming
got
to?
nothing better to do than bitch. I'm just
I'm
telling you.
like, that's, that was a moment in time where I had a chat with two people and said, this is, if you think this walk is about fame, you can leave. Please leave. Because this is not about fame.
Mental health is not fame. It's getting moment to moment to moment through whatever you need to get through so that you're still here the next day.
Yeah. I figured, well, okay, so that was kind of a cool experience, and now it's not cool anymore. It's like awards on my wall from being an Alberta sheriff. I had all these accolades, and it's like, why am I going to post those up on the wall? And I had them hidden. I was going to throw a lot of them away, and people talk sense. Like somewhere down the road, you're going to be able to look back and say that was an amazing moment in my career.
Mhm.
So slowly I'm putting them into glass frames, slowly putting them up on the wall. And it's like, wow, man, like, people get upset because to me something silly. Anyways, I've moved on, so I'm past that now. So now the football's displayed,
I'm glad.
and yes, Winnipeg. I've still got your jersey. I'm waiting for a shadow box to put that jersey in, and the football, and my field tag, and the program. I believe I've still got. So yes, now I'm celebrating the highlights, and that was a cool moment for the campaign.
Right.
Yes.
Wow, that is so awesome. And Chad, I mean, I know who you are. And I know that sometimes it can be hard when you get these people that give you shit about nothing. It means nothing to them. Uh, and I know you know that you should just let it go. I know you know that. And I know it's easier said than done.
Yeah.
But truthfully, who are they? And have they even got up off their damn couch to help
No.
one person, let alone how many provinces and how many cities have you been through in the last couple years?
Yeah.
So just I get it because there's trolls on social media that are going to do and
Oh
say
yeah.
whatever they want. Um, and, just as Mel Robbins says, let them
You let them.
because
Yep.
they're going to do and say whatever the hell they want anyways,
Yep.
and that's not what it's about. It's about that woman mom that came up to you about her son, and said, listen, I finally have closure after so many years.
Yeah.
That is what it's about.
Yeah.
And that, not the trolls that are out there, and keyboard warriors that
Yeah.
like to stir shit. Get off your ass off the couch and go do something and help somebody. Be kind.
I usually ask those trolls to come for a walk with me, and you know what? Remember when we're young? Well, you're really young. When I was young, the fun game was let's get a salt shaker and go find the slugs that are crawling around in the garden. Because when you pour salt on them, there's a weird chemical reaction. Yeah, so it's like I love some of the trolls. Some get pretty violent with me and send pretty nasty messages, but why don't you come for a walk with me? See what this is
Yeah.
about. Let's talk. Yeah, and they just slither away. They go away. But I also compliment a lot of the trolls. They watch everything that other people do, and they're the first to judge, and they're first to do this. But in order for you to follow what I'm doing, you got to like what I'm doing. If you really hate it that much, you're still watching what I'm doing. You're still a super fan.
That's
You
right.
win. I win. We're all super
How
fans.
could you imagine? I just feel sorry for those people because how dark is their life that they have got to make fun of um suicide or mental health?
Yeah.
Like there has to be something in their life that has been so traumatic to make them like this. And I just send them love.
Yeah.
Sending
That's all
them
you can
all
do.
love.
That's all you can do. Well, you know what really gets them is when you blow them a kiss. Oh, it kind of riles them up more. It's kind of like poking the beast, but I get to the point. I've got to deal with my own mental health challenges. Um, I'll share this story with you in Kingsville in person, but somebody just showed up from my past. And start sending me emails and messages, like emails from 2022 that you and your partner, it was all slamming me. And I'm like, well, this is interesting. So I've heard like 5 different sides of the story that's going on with these people. I'm like, okay, well, if you're back to watching me, thanks. It's a compliment. I'm not getting sucked into your whatever you got going on. I'm not going to respond. And that's, you know what? It's okay. You're a bitter person. As a smoker, if there's a bridge to be burnt, I don't have a pack of matches. I use a lighter, and it's a Bic. It's not a Zippo. So when there's a bridge burnt, I'm not the guy that threw the match. And surely, if I threw a Bic lighter at the gasoline on the bridge, the flame doesn't stay lit. So it's you burn a bridge. I can forgive, but I always move on. I can't forget. I can forgive for my own peace and so I can carry on in life instead of letting things build up and getting frustrated. Sure, I vent behind closed doors. Unfortunately, Nikki sees. She sees my happy moments. She sees when I'm twerking in the kitchen. Twerking's a thing, apparently. My funky dances. But she also sees when somebody hurts my feelings. She sees when when I grieve over whatever I'm grieving or whoever I'm grieving over. She sees when I ugly cry. And man, I just went through a huge challenge I needed to ask for help for or help on, and I was stressed out about. She sees all this, and she's the first to say, "I wish I could show people the raw Chad. This is my man who I share with everybody across Canada and through other parts of the world all the time. People don't see when you're twerking. Thank God. She posted a video last week or the week before me twerking in the kitchen. I'm like, oh, geez. Anyways,
I'm gonna have to go stalk that and find and look
oh
at it.
yeah, you'll find it. Nikki Fowler is her name. You can find her on Facebook. She's laughing in her office next door. She's shits and giggles. But she's like, people don't see the raw side of Chad. It doesn't matter how much I do my daily blogs on social media. I type my feelings. I have a day of the week every week or every day. Every day of the week has a day, so I'll do a post. And I talk my real emotions, but you're not seeing me ugly cry. You're not seeing when I'm laughing hysterically or Nikki looks down, I'll go twerking. People don't see the raw side of Chad like she does. So the people that even since I've been home, a few of the people that you believe are friends end up hurting you, and she sees that. And let me tell you, if I let her have her way on social media, every time I was hurt by an individual, she would be emailing, she would be making a mockery on social media. I'm like, well, there's still the campaign. And as she reminds me when we're driving in the C2C truck, Chad, don't road rage. I'm like, but why? It's my truck. It's my campaign. But the campaign. But the truck says PTSD on it. I should be allowed to road rage. But she keeps me in check as well. It's a two-way street. All road rage.
Well, just
Yes.
know that I'm here if you ever need to vent and we need to do something with these trolls. Because, anyways, just send them
Anyways,
love. That's all I got. Yeah, just send them
all you
love.
can do. Or you thank them.
And
Or yeah, it's I found out quite a while ago. I somebody really kind of pissed me off, and within my community, it's like, dude, let's go for wings and a pint. I don't want to make friends, and I don't want you to push your poison down my throat. I said, what? Wings and a pint and watch a football game. What are you getting at? Oh, you'll push your mental health shit. I'm not a preacher. I don't preach mental health. But he got me so wound up. And I actually I had to copy and paste some of what this guy was saying to me on social media and post it in the community. Does anybody know this tool? Right? And he comes back. Oh, and then I did a video blog the next day about him joking around. And he messaged me, haha, I win. I'm like, you know what? You did win. Because you got in my head and I had to post about you. So now I just don't say names because whatever. Yeah, you feel good about yourself. Yeah, go away. So I'll worry about my battle and helping the good people that would like help. And let the trolls troll. They're still my number one fans, and I love it. Thank you. Because it shoots my views up on TikTok and on Facebook and Instagram. Right. So thank you. Thank you.
love it, love it, love it. Well, Chad, I can't believe we're past the hour. This
know.
is, I could go all night with you. I really could.
Okay, think about what you just said. Somebody's going to get a laugh out of
I meant on talking only.
Oh God, only my
happily
brain goes
married.
there. And Nikki's right next door. Hi, babe. So yeah,
Anyhow,
we can bleep that out.
Yeah. Well, no, because I don't edit. It's what said.
Well, that's good. So somebody will get a laugh.
Yeah, somebody will get a laugh. And so, thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. And yes, I would love to be part of this Hope Coalition and the walk in May, and we can get some eyes on that and make
Yes.
it big and bad.
Okay.
And so
I'll
thank you
connect
so
y'all.
much for
Thank you.
being on here.
Can we?
Truly
Can we?
appreciate you.
We'll get a visit in May. That's exciting.
Yes.
What if we do a walking interview with sound?
Walking interview with sound. I can do
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
I'll just use my phone. I had fancy equipment. That was the thing. I had a microphone. I had fancy
It was
equipment.
fancy.
That's what it is. So from now on, nothing fancy, and that works.
I'm kidding. We'll sit someplace quiet and we'll do an interview. It'd be fantastic.
It will be fantastic. All right, my friend. Any last words for our guests before we wrap this up?
If you need help finding resources, contact us at C2C for PTSD. Think on the link that's going across the runner at the bottom there. My email address should be on there. We're not hard to find. We're on social media. Send me a message. And I know what it's like asking for help. So it's confidential. We'll find you resources.
Absolutely. All right, my friend. You have an amazing Christmas.
Thank you. You as
so
well.
much. Yes, I'm going somewhere warm in a couple weeks. So
let me guess, Florida.
No, not Florida.
No.
Cancun.
Mexico. Okay, you can leave now. Hey, remember, I'm your brother. You can take me along.
Well,
this one's.
Listen, my husband turned 50 this year, and we've never celebrated our anniversary. This is our 6th year, so we're gonna go and have fun.
Good. Do it while you're still young.
That's right.
Once you hit my age, no more fun.
Bullshit.
It's all shits and giggles. I'm kidding.
Bullshit. Exactly. All right, guys. Remember, be unstoppable in all that you do. Same time, same channel next week. Go subscribe to our channel, the Unstoppable Network on YouTube. Share with all your friends so that we get Chad's story out to more people, and we get more help with this amazing walk, C2C for PTSD. And thank you so much. Bye for now.